Hi guys, welcome to a new video. This is the part 2 of a video I already have on this channel. Please don't forget to like, share, comment and subscribe. So the first thing you want to do after cutting the lining is to join the lining with the fabric, and doing this you're going to be placing both of them right side facing each other. Of course, the lining doesn't have a right side, just pick any part. You're going to sew it at the end and then you're going to drag it to the top just like you see me doing. Then you sew the sides. You're going to go ahead and repeat this process for the two parts of the back piece. Remember, the back is separated because of the zip allowance. So you're going to remember to place the lining on the front side of the fabric before you join, just like so. Next step is to cut the foam for the breast pad. You're just going to place it just like you see me doing, and then you're going to trace it. You're going to make sure it doesn't come above the keyhole neckline, and then it's going to stop at the under bust. This is what it looked like when I was done. You're also going to cut out the breast foam for the two sides of this. So as you can see, it's folded in two, so I'm going to be getting for the right and the left side of this. So I'm measuring this to make sure it's the same length as the foam we cut out for the center piece. After doing this, you're going to trace it out following the shape, just like you see me doing. This doesn't have any particular measurement, you just trace it out. So I had two pieces and this is what they look like. Now this is what you have after you are done cutting. I'll do this same process for the lining piece. But for the lining, I'll be using the soft interfacing. This is not actually compulsory. I just did it because my client wanted the bustier area to be thicker and a little bit fuller. So I decided to pad the lining also. But remember, I did not use the padding foam. I used the interfacing to do that. So after that, I'm going to go ahead and join them by the side, just like you see me doing. You can go ahead and pin this up so it will be easier for you. I'll repeat this process for the back part, so you can go ahead and pin this down so to make it easier. After I was done joining the sides, this is what it looks like, and this is what the lining looks like. You can see how neatly it came out. The next thing is to join the lining with the fabric. So you're just going to place them right sides facing each other. And then you're going to go ahead and pin the keyhole area around because you want that area to come out very neat. That's exactly what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to match them properly and to pin them down before I go to my machine to sew. So after pinning it down, I'll go ahead and sew on the keyhole area. Remember, that's the only area I'll be sewing, just the keyhole area. I've gone ahead to do that, and this is me just trying to create notches so it will be neater by the time I turn it over. Now that I'm done, I'm going to be turning it over, and this is exactly how it is. You take everything and put it inside. Take the whole lining piece and pass it through the keyhole, just like you see me doing. After turning it over, I'll give this a very good press. This is what it looks like by the time I was done. This is what it looks like at the back. I'm also going to go ahead and join my lining piece to the actual fabric for the back piece. So after placing them, I'm going to go ahead and sew on the neck piece and on the zipper allowance. After I gave it a good press, I stitched on the zipper allowance. Opened it up and gave it a good press, and this is what it looked like. So this is what I have for my back piece. Now, because I turned with my keyhole, I'm going to be using a bias to turn the neckline. I went ahead to use this fabric to create a bias strip, and I'm going to be using it to turn this over. This is what it looks like by the time I was done. Now I'm going to join the front piece to the back. I'm going to join them on the shoulder. So you are going to place it like so, and then you're going to use the lining of the back piece to turn everything over, just like I'm doing. Please watch what I'm doing, and then you're going to go and stitch it. I'll repeat the same process for the other shoulder. This is how it came out after I was done. Now I place a little bit of fabric in the bustier area just to give it a little lift up, because it is at this point that I like to put in my measurements for the upper part. So I'm just going to go ahead and mark all my measurements. I marked the bust, the under bust, and the waistline. After I was done marking my measurement, I'm going to go to my machine and sew on the sides. This is how it came out when I was done. I opened the sides up a little bit because that's where I'll be joining the lower part of this dress. Now I'm going to go ahead and place the front part of the lower part of this dress to the upper part. I'm going to mark the middle, give it a notch, and then I'm going to place them middle to middle, pin it over to the sides. Then I'll head over to my machine and stitch. I'll repeat this process for the back piece. I'll place them, make sure they are touching, then I'll go ahead and stitch. This is how it came out. The next step is to go ahead and join the zipper allowance area for the back piece. I'll join the part, stop where the zipper is going to start, and then I'll go ahead and fix in my zipper. After I was done, this is how neatly it came out. Guys, I fixed my zip. The next thing is to join the two sides together. I already have a foundation for the upper part because I've already inserted my measurements. So I'm going to go ahead and insert my measurements for the lower part of this dress. So I've marked my hip area, which is my hip measurement divided by 4. I marked it on both sides of the hip. And then I'm going to take away 1.5 inch from whatever I got on my hip measurement and mark it at the end of this dress. That's how to put in your measurements. After stitching this down, this is how it came out. Guys, you can see it came out neatly. The next step is to go ahead and insert my sleeve. And because this is a puff sleeve, I like to reduce my shoulder measurement a little bit just so the puff will start on top of the shoulder. It's usually a standard when you're making puff sleeve to reduce the shoulder a little bit. I also went ahead to remeasure my arm area to make sure they were accurate. Now after I was done, I went ahead to cut out the sleeve. For the sleeve, it can be as wide or as long as you want, but I made sure my fabric is at least 15 inches long and 22 inches wide. You can try to go higher or lower depending on how big you want your sleeve to be. So I folded the tip of the sleeve to make a casing for my elastic. I do that on both sleeves. After getting my rubber casing, I went ahead to cut out my elastic. I make sure it's at least 13 inches long because I wanted to make use of 11 inches. And to insert this into the casing, I get my safety pin and then I'll put it in and slide it to the end gently. So after I've brought out the safety pin on the other side, this is what the sleeve looks like. I'm going to go ahead and join the sides with 1 inch and then I'll repeat the process for the other sleeve. This is what I have for both sleeves by the time I was done with my elastic and joining the sides. Now I'll go ahead and attach the sleeve to the dress. So after I was done, this is what it looks like. So you go ahead and use your serger to serge. I'll repeat the process for the other sleeve and that will be all for this dress. And this is the finished look.